So you have perfect timing. What's up, guys? Trying to post them during live on the TikTok. Apparently I have to do it on my computer because I'm just not aware of how Just push through this.
Playing peak in 10 seconds or less. Food can be cooked for added benefit, and the plain wing and panning can be used too.
Can you not pin her? Dude.
Now here's two things you can
this is like blowing my mind. Like it's just not available. That's so confusing, dude.
so blue. So
Yeah,
many
really.
shades of sorrow got mixed into my hue. Each new moment just astounds me. So much I wanna do. I finally feel my colors shining through. I'm tired of the fighting. I'm tired of the blame. That mirror was a prison, and fusion was the same. What's with these new sensations that suddenly appear? Deep as the roaring ocean, deep as the atmosphere. Ooh, why so blue? So many different reasons, but are they really true? I wanna keep on going, wanna be right here with you. I'd love to see your colors shining through. I'd love to see your colors shining through.
Anywho, what's up, chap? We chilling. Close enough for now. So the plan is I'm going to set up a print and get that going. And we'll do some other fun stuff. I'm probably gonna read a little bit of my book. I'll read it out loud so you guys can like hear it too. I thought I could share some of what I've been going over. I thought it was pretty interesting. And why not, right? And then I'm gonna squeeze in a little exercise. I don't know if that's weird to like work out live, especially when it's not like in lifting big weights or anything, but whatever. And then I'm going to play some games. I might do some Peach solo, and then I have plans to play Repo with the Dane later. Gosh, I'm so addicted. Gotta put it away. If you like kimchi, you gotta try this brand. This looks so good. Wild brand. I'll be right back.
Colors weave into a spire of flame. Distant sparks call to a past still unnamed. Light as torch against the cold of the night. Set your soul and reawaken the undying light.
So I'm gonna get this print going.
On that day when the sky fell away, our world came to
Will it do different? I think I have it set up where it will actually do transitions whenever I.
eyes in the dark, glimmering shadows. Silence grows
Okay.
in the spaces between, stretching out
since I'm like not the person who made the video, I guess. There we go. So, these are some little sheep that I printed earlier for Settlers of Catan. We're going to replace all of the cards. I feel like this is like off. There we go. But we're going to replace all of the cards for Settlers of Catan with actual little pieces. So I'm going to replace the sheep with these, and then we're going to go ahead and set up. Here's all the different pieces. So we got our lot, our sheep, our ore, whatever that is, and wheat. It's stone and ore is what it's supposed to be. Stone ore. Anywho, so there's the sheep. We already got those done, so we're gonna knock that out. What should we do next? Let me see what colors I already have open. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do for the ore. Should I do like, I guess it's probably bronze. That's what color it is, but I don't think I have a bronze. So I have like, it's dangerous. I'm gonna drop all these pieces fucking everywhere. I have this red that I could use, maybe, and just make them like see-through red. Might work-ish. It's gold-ish. It's like red and gold. Ready for the stones. What should we do? Brown. Wood. I suppose the orange would probably be better. I got this transparent orange that I haven't opened yet. I think that would make very good. Like ore. So we got ore, wheat, wood, or no, yeah, that right, stone. Yeah, that's ore stone. We'll do it in gray. I don't need these two. like I'm missing something. Oh yeah, I wanted to see if I was running to maybe do a different one. So we're just gonna roll with this. It's kind of messy. Oh well. There we are. There's one more pile of bullshit over there. Okay, so let's do. I already got the stone or the wheat open. So which one should we do first? Thinking let's do some little hay bale looking things. So we'll do that and 18 more. Gotta redo a couple sheep too, as they didn't quite work out. Objects. I don't feel like that's enough space. The other ones, it was not enough. Hey, but if it thinks that's good, then... Might have been the way it was passing over with the nozzle, I don't know. Okay. April. Alright, it might help if I put it in the right filament. That's why I moved the camera. Like, I know I moved the camera over there for a reason. Like, I was gonna be there for doing something. That's a problem. And they're getting these little mini spools, and they weren't quite fitting up the bit in the A. That's spool adjuster thing. It actually fit. So far, it's been pretty effective. Wonder if we can zoom in and show off the print a little bit. Let me see. I mean, I guess I suppose I could do the. Yeah, but it's really slow. I was gonna say I should show the internal camera, but it's not very good. Here, let's do good chat, and then let's do Definitely not the worst view. Move that out of the way a little bit. It could definitely be better, or more like actually like up close, but it's not the worst. This one might say I'm grainy. Or that just comes with it being super zoomed in. I know it looks like it's at an angle, but I swear it's not. That's just the camera. I don't know how to really level it out in a way that's not. You know what? We're just not doing that. I have another webcam technically, and I could probably set that up to like, you know, show it off while it's printing, but I don't know if I have the USB port for it at the moment. I guess I could put this since I'm not gaming. Where's this going? If this is going somewhere that is usable, then I could use this one. That's it right there. Too many wires. This is. So I could do that. Significantly better than we could be on. Just as you plugged in directly. Okay, oh well. But supposed to do? Yeah. Better than nothing, right? It's just slow. It's the only downside. Because it's like a high speed, I mean, like it blurs out and stuff. Because I think it's supposed to be like only for high speed stuff. But oh well, we can let that roll. That could be our background. I need to. Let's turn on the music. Devin streamed me for almost 45 minutes. Holy shit. It's sad. I haven't even done anything. It's been sitting trying to figure shit out. Oh well. For serious stream. With me trying to like do shit the right way. They're so much smaller than I thought they would be. They're so little. It's like the size of my fingernail, like that. I might have to redo these better. They're so little. Oh well. So, while I wrap up the evening with the family, I should make some actual proper food. I might be in and out a little bit to help out with the evening. But I thought we could do some reading. We got the print going. Cross it off my little list here. And then, yeah. I might squeeze in a little exercise too. If not now, I'll probably just do that later. So then I want to do a walk on the treadmill. I've been trying to make a goal of like 10K steps a day. I don't know if that's like sufficient. I should look that up. I don't even know if that's like a good amount or not. But I assume that that's a pretty solid amount for like a daily amount. I'm curious now though. Yeah, 10K is not bad. Still no pin option. So strange. Send me some. Down 2. So I made a few more sheep and a few more hay bales. Yeah. Shit. Say it was on 169. Yeah. So I'm kind of picking up midway through the book. There might be some stuff that makes zero sense to someone coming in midway through. Because he's like set up. God, yeah. We're doing that. There may be some stuff that just doesn't make sense as he already gave it context prior in the book. Dude, why does it keep fucking up? That's the rest of the print. Wait, that 3 hay bales that need to be fixed. Anyway, I'm going to be reading The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. I need to try to get 10 pages down for my daily reading log I've been trying to accomplish. So, where was I at? Last I left off, it was pretty much talking about how you can break down all of your daily activities into one of 4 major quadrants, and he like basically described the first one as like major crisis. You know, things that like you can't avoid doing. You absolutely have to do through the day. Something like an emergency situation, something like using the bathroom. I guess technically would fall into that category. But then there's category 2 things, and he also described these as like things that are urgent and things that are important, and then things that are not urgent and things that are not important. And basically, like the things that are important and urgent fall into category 1s. The things that are important but not urgent fall into category 2. And the distinguishing characteristic between those is the fact that like important things, it's just not, dude, this print sucks. I knew that was going to be too close. Oops. I'm just going to stop this for now. And I'll come back to that in a second. Maybe I'll space them out a little more or something. Maybe that'll fix it. But I had a feeling that this wasn't going to work. Category 3 he was describing as things that are not important but urgent, and then category 4 are things that are not important and not urgent. And we tend to spend a lot of our time trying to mitigate the crisis of the first one, and then whenever we don't know how to deal with that, we kind of fall into the 4th one as a source of relief. Because it's not important, it's not urgent. You know, I mean, it's just dumb shit that we don't actually really need to be doing that much. So we tend to fall into doing that more often than not. And then Number 3 is things that oftentimes seem like they're important, but they're not. They're just kind of getting our attention in the moment, but it's not actually that important. Okay, so we're gonna try this again like that. That doesn't work then. Maybe I'll try a brim. I might just do that now just to save the time. Global. Wait, repair. I wonder if they would do better like that. Let's try it. I feel like that'll be better. And no, it won't be pink, that's just what it shows. Step on it. Oh, it's pooping. I'm not sure if I can show this on a live stream. Usually I pay for this kind of content. Got like seasoning stuck in my teeth. Anyways. The Quadrant 2 tool. The objective of Quadrant 2 management is to manage our lives effectively from a center of sound principles, from knowledge of our personal mission, with a focus on important as well as the urgent, and within the framework of maintaining a balance between increasing our production and increasing our production capability. This is admittedly an ambitious objective for people caught in the thick of thin things in Quadrants 3 and 4. But striving to achieve it will have a phenomenal impact on personal effectiveness. A Quadrant 2 organizer will need to meet 6 important criteria. Coherence. Coherence suggests that there is a harmony, unity, and integrity between your vision and your mission, your roles and goals, your priorities and plans, and your desires and disciplines. In your planner, there should be a space for your personal mission statements so that you can constantly refer to it. There also needs to be a place for your roles as well as your short-term and long-term goals. Balance. Your tool should help you keep your balance and should help you to keep balance in your life, to identify various roles and keep them right in front of you, so that you don't neglect important areas such as your health, your family, professional preparation, and personal development. Many people seem to think that success in one area can compensate for failure in other areas of life, but can it really? Perhaps that can be a limited time in some areas, but can success in your profession compensate for a broken marriage, ruined health, or weakness in personal character? True effectiveness requires balance, and your tool needs to help you create and maintain it. Quadrant 2, focus. You need a tool that encourages you, motivates you, actively helps you spend time you need in Quadrant 2, so that you're dealing with the prevention rather than prioritizing crisis. In my opinion, the best way to do this is to organize your life on a weekly basis. You can still adapt to priorities on a daily basis, but the fundamental thrust is organizing the week. Organizing on a weekly basis provides much greater balance and context than daily planning. There seems to be an implicit cultural recognition of this week as a single, complete unit of time. Businesses, education, and many other facets of society operate within the framework of the week, designating certain days for focused investment and others for relaxation and inspiration. The basic Judeo-Christian ethic offers the Sabbath, the one day out of the every 7 set aside for uplifting purposes. Most people think in terms of weeks, but most third-generation planning tools focus on daily planning. While they may help you with prioritizing your activities, they basically only help you organize crisis and busy work. The key is not to prioritize what's on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities, and this can be the best done in the context of the week. A people dimension. You also need a tool that deals with people, not just schedules. While you can think in terms of efficiency in dealing with time, a principle-centered person thinks in terms of effectiveness in dealing with people. There are terms principle-centered Quadrant 2 living requires the subordination of schedules to people. It requires the subordination of schedules to people. Of schedules to people. There we go. Your tool needs to reflect the value to facilitate implementation rather than create guilt when schedule is not followed. Flexibility. Your planning tool should be your servant, never your master. Since it has to work for you, it should be tailored to your style, your needs, and your particular ways. Portability. Your tool should also be portable so that you can carry it with you most of the time. You may want to review your personal mission statement while riding the bus. You may want to measure the value of your opportunity against something you have already planned. If your organizer is portable, you'll keep it with you so that important data is always within reach. Since Quadrant 2 is the heart of effective self-management, you need a tool that moves in the Quadrant 2. My work with the 4th generation concept has led to the creation of a tool specifically designed according to the criteria listed above, but many good 3rd generational tools can easily be adapted. Because the principles are sound, the practices or specific applications can vary from one individual to next. Becoming a Quadrant 2 self-manager. Oh, there we go. Although my effort here is to teach principles, not practices, of effectiveness, I believe you can better understand the principles through the empowering nature of the 4th generation if you actually experience organizing a week from principle-centered Quadrant 2 base. Quadrant 2 organizing involves 4 key activities. Identifying roles. The first task is to write down your key roles. If you haven't really given serious thought to your roles in your life, you can write down the immediate that comes to mind. You have a role as an individual. You may want to list one or more of your roles to a family member, a husband, a wife, mother or father, son or daughter, a member or extended family or grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins. You may want to list a few roles in your work and different areas in which you want to invest your time, energy, on a regular basis. You may have roles in church or community affairs. You don't need to worry about defining the roles in a way that will live with it for the rest of your life. Just consider the week and write down the areas you see yourself spending time during the next 7 days. Here are 2 examples of the way people might see their various roles. And he has listed like individual, spouse, parent, manager of new products, manager research, manager of staff development, manager of administration, and chairman at United Way. Or like personal development, spouse, parent, real estate, salesperson, community service. You need the ability to select goals. Or selecting goals is what it says. The next step is to think of 1 or 2 important results you feel to accomplish in each role during the next 7 days. God, I feel like my lip felt weird. . Yeah, so then he does that's like that. Not sure what you guys can see. There we go. But the arrows are all the different like roles within your life, and then here's some of the goals that you can have based on all the different roles that you want to try to fulfill in your life. So things like on an individual or personal level. That says devil. That's funny. You should do like a rough draft mission statement, register seminar. You know what I mean? As a spouse or parent, you maybe one of your things is like confirming symphony tickets or your kid's science project or fixing their bike or something. So like obviously just all your daily activities of what you want to accomplish, but based on like what roles you play in life rather than like just what you're trying to accomplish in general. And you'll probably feel like you're getting more accomplished if you were to get things from multiple roles that you feel like you need to do every day done, rather than just playing one role for one day and another role for another day. Like then you never feel like you're getting enough done. Or at least I know I don't. At least some of these goals should reflect quadrant 2 activities. Ideally, these goals would be. Is it printing well now? Looks like it's okay. I think we're good now. At least some of these goals reflect quadrant 2 activities. Ideally, these weekly goals would be tied to the longer-term goals you have identified in conjunction with your personal mission statement. But even if you haven't written your mission statement, you can get a sense of what is important as you consider each of your roles and one or two of goals for each role. Scheduling. Now you can look at a week ahead with your goals in mind and schedule to achieve them. For example, if your goal is to produce the first draft of your personal mission statement, you may want to set a time aside for a 2-hour block of time on Sunday to work on it. Sunday, or some other day of the week that is special to you, your faith, or your circumstances, is often the ideal time to plan your personal uplifting activities, including weekly organizing. It's a good time to draw back, to seek inspiration, to look at your life in the context of principles and values. If you set a goal to become physically fit with exercise, you may want to set aside an hour 3 or 4 days during the week, or possibly even a day during the week, to accomplish that goal. There are some goals that you may only be able to accomplish during business hours, or some that you can only do on Saturday when your children are home. Can you begin to see some of the advantages of organizing the week instead of the day? Having identified roles and set goals, you can translate each goal to a specific day of the week, either as a priority item or, even better, as a specific appointment. You can also check your annual or monthly calendar for any appointments you may have previously made and evaluate their importance in the context of your goals, transferring those you decide to keep to your schedule and making plans to reschedule or cancel others. As you study and follow this weekly schedule, observe how each of the 19 most important, often quadrant 2 goals have been scheduled to translate into the specific action plan. In addition, notice the box label Sharpen the Saw that provides a place to plan vital review and renewing quadrant 2 activities in each of the 4 dimensions. In each of the 4 human dimensions that will be explained in Habit 7. Goodness. Even with time set aside to accomplish 19 important goals during the week, look at the amount of remaining unscheduled space on the schedule, as well as empowering you to put things first. Quadrant 2 weekly organizing gives you the freedom and flexibility to handle unanticipated events. To shift appointment, I think I already read like most of these pages, unfortunately. Oops. I think it was actually on this one when I left off. Well. Job. But he shows on this one, it's like mission statement, roles, goals, plan, schedule, delegate. So it kind of shows you like the process in which you can create your, take things from your just being a thought process or an idea and actually turn it into something that's, what's the word I'm looking for? Tangible. If you need to savor relationships and interactions with others, to deeply enjoy spontaneous experiences, knowing you have proactively organized your week to accomplish key goals in every area of your life. With Quadrant 2 weekly organizing, daily planning becomes more of a function of daily adapting, of prioritizing activities and responding to unanticipated events, relationships, and experiences in a meaningful way. Taking a few steps each morning to review your schedule can put you in touch with the value-based decisions you made as you organize the week, as well as the unanticipated factors that may have come up. As you overview the day, you can see that your roles and goals provide a natural prioritization that grows out of your innate sense of balance. It is a softer, more right-brained prioritization that ultimately comes out of your sense and personal mission. You may still find that the third generation A, B, C, or 1, 2, 3 prioritization gives needed order to daily activities. It would be a false dichotomy to say that the activities are either important or they aren't. They are obviously on a continuum, and some important activities are more important than others. In the context of weekly organizing, Jesus, third generation prioritization gives order to daily focus. But trying to prioritize activities before you even know how they relate to your sense of personal mission and how they fit into the balance of your life is not effective. You may be prioritizing and accomplishing things you don't want or don't need to be doing at all. Can you begin to see the difference between organizing your week as a principle-centered Quadrant 2 manager and planning your days as an individual centered on something else? Can you begin to sense a tremendous difference that Quadrant 2 focus would make in your current level of effectiveness? Having experienced the power of principle-centered Quadrant 2 of organizing in my own life, and having seen it transform the lives of hundreds of other people, I'm persuaded it makes a difference, a quantum positive difference, and the more completely weekly goals are tied into wider framework or correct principles and into a personal mission statement, the greater increase in effectiveness will be. Gotcha. The way it was written was strange for a second. Completely weekly. Living it. Returning once more to the computer metaphor, if habit 1 says you're the programmer, and habit 2 says write the program, then habit says run the program, live the program, and living it is primarily a function of our independent will, our self-discipline, our integrity, and a commitment not to the short-term goals and schedules that are impulsive on the moment, but to correct principles and our deepest values, which give meaning and context to our goals or schedules in our lives. As you go through your week, there will undoubtedly be times where your integrity will be placed on the line. The popularity of reacting to the urgent, unimportant priorities of other people in Quadrant 3 or the pleasure of escaping to Quadrant 4 will threaten you to overpower the important Quadrant 2 activities you have planned. Your principle center, your self-awareness, and your conscience can provide a high degree of intrinsic security, guiding, and wisdom to empower you to use your independent will and maintain integrity to the truly important. Because you aren't omniscient? Is that how you would say that? Yeah. Because you aren't omniscient, I'm not sure how to, but you can't be everywhere at once, however you fucking pronounce that word. You can't always know in advance what is truly important. As carefully as you organize the week, there will be times when a principle-centered person you will need to be a subordinate your schedule to a higher value. Because you're principle-centered, you can do that in a sense of because you are principle-centered, you can do that with an inner sense of peace. My goodness. At one point, one of my sons was deeply into scheduling and efficiency. You see, I did read this part. Yeah, I think I left off over here. That works. Okay. Advances of the fourth generation. One of the reasons why people resist using third generation time management tools is because they lose spontaneity. They become rigid and inflexible. They subordinate people to schedules because the efficiency paradigm of the third generation of management is out of harmony with the principle that people are more important than things. The fourth generation tool recognizes that principle. It also recognizes that the first person needs to consider in terms of effectiveness rather than efficiency as yourself. and encourages you to spend time in Quadrant 2 to understand and center your life on principles, to give clear expression to the purposes and values you want to direct your daily direct your daily decisions. It helps you create balance in your life. It helps you rise above the limitations of daily planning and organizing and scheduling the contents of the week. And when a higher value conflicts with what you have planned, it empowers you to do your self-awareness and conscious to maintain the integrity of the principles and purposes you have determined are most important. Instead of using a roadmap, you're using a compass. The fourth generation of self-management is more advanced than the third in 5 important ways. First, it is principle-centered. More than giving lip service to Quadrant 2, it creates a center paradigm that empowers you to see your time in the context of what it really is really important and effective. Second is conscious directed. It gives you the opportunity to organize your life to the best of your ability in harmony with your deepest values, but it also gives you the freedom to peacefully subordinate your schedule to higher values. Third, it defines your unique mission, including values and long-term goals that give direction and purpose to the way you spend each day. Fourth, it helps you balance your life by identifying roles and by setting goals and scheduling activities in each key role each week. And fifth, it gives greater context through weekly organization with daily adaptation as needed, rising above the limiting perspective of a single day and putting you in touch with your deepest values through review of your key roles. The practical thread running through all 5 of these advances is a primary focus on relationships and the results and a secondary focus on time. Delegation, increasing P and PC, which he described earlier in the book. P and PC is kind of like the relation of like the goose and the golden age. You know, you have product and then you have the work that is required to produce the product. And you want to keep them in balance, as obviously if you take too many aids then you run out before, you know what I mean, like you have the ability to produce more, and if you like hurt the production, then like you know, like it goes hand in hand. We accomplish all that we do through delegation, either to time or to other people. If we delegate to time, we think efficiency. If we delegate to other people, we think effectiveness. Yeah. What's up? I think you just warm it. Yeah, you can either, like, if we want to use the whole thing, or you can just like chop a chunk off it and like warm it up and then like cut it down the middle, or however you want to do it. Really, you can do like slices.
I just doing like 3 minutes.
No, you're good. Yeah, you're just pretty much warming it up a bit.
Alright.
Okay, cool. Sounds great. Many people refuse, or we accomplish all that we do through delegation, either through time or to other people. If we delegate to time, we think efficiency. If we delegate to other people, we think effectiveness. Many people refuse to delegate to other people because they feel it takes too much time or effort and that they could do a better job themselves. But effectively delegating to others is perhaps the single most powerful high-leverage activity there is. Transferring responsibility to other skilled and trained people enables you to give your energies to other high-leverage activities. Delegation means growth, both for the individuals and for the organizations. The late J.C. Penney was quoted as saying that the wisest decision he ever made was to let go, after realizing that he couldn't do it all by himself any longer. That decision, made long ago, enabled the development and growth of hundreds of stores and thousands of people. Because delegation involves other people, it is a public victory and could well be included in Habit 4. But because we are focusing here on principles and personal management, and the ability to delegate to others is the main difference between the roles of manager and independent producer, I'm approaching delegation from the standpoint of your personal management skills. Producer does whatever is necessary to accomplish desired results to get the golden aids. A parent who washes the dishes, an architect who draws up blueprints, or a secretary who types correspondence is a producer. But when a person sets up and works with people, with and through people and systems to produce golden aids, that person becomes a manager in the interdependent sense. A parent who delegates washing the dishes to a child is a manager. An architect who heads a team of other architects is a manager. A secretary who supervises other secretaries and office personnel is an office manager. A producer can invest 1 hour of effort and produce 1 unit of result, assuming no loss of efficiency. A manager, on the other hand, can invest 1 hour of effort into and produce 10 to 50 or 100 units through effective delegation. Management is essentially moving the fulcrum over, and the key to effective management is delegation. That actually makes a lot of freaking sense, to be honest with you. Like, it's so straightforward and simple, but like, it's just something to really consider, like how much you could make use of other people to help you like accomplish your goals, and not like in a Machiavellian sense, like in an interdependent, like everyone gets along and gets ahead sense. There are basically 2 kinds of delegation: gopher delegation and stewardship delegation. Gopher delegation means go for this, go for that, do this, do that, and tell me when it's done. Most people who are producers have gopher delegation paradigm. Remember the machete wielders in the jungle? They are producers. They roll up their sleeves and get the job done. If they are given a position of supervision or management, they still think like producers. They don't know how to set up full delegation so that another person is committed to achieve results. Because they are focused on methods, they become responsible for the results. I was involved in gopher delegation once when our family went water skiing. My son, who is an excellent hiker, was in the water being pulled, and I was driving the boat. I handed the camera to Sandra and asked her to take some pictures. At first, I told her to be selective in her picture taking because we didn't have much film left. Then I realized she was unfamiliar with the camera, so I became a little more specific. I told her to wait until the sun was ahead of the boat, and until her son was jumping the wake or making a turn and touching his elbow. But the more I thought about our limited footage and her inexperience with the camera, the more my concern I became. Not sure I'm like overusing my voice. I finally said, "Look, Sandra, just push the button when I tell you, okay?" And I spent the next few minutes yelling, "Take it, take it, don't take it, don't take it." I was afraid that if I didn't direct her every move, every second, it wouldn't have gone right. This was truly a gopher delegation, one-on-one supervision with methods. Many people consistently delegate that way, but how much does it really accomplish, and how many people is it possible to supervise or manage when you have to be involved in every move they make? There's a much better, more effective way to delegate to other people, and it's based on the paradigm of appreciation of self-awareness, the imagination, the conscious, and the free will of other people. Stewardship delegation. Stewardship delegation is focused on the results instead of the method. It gives people a choice of method and makes them responsible for the results. It takes more time in the beginning, but it's time well invested. If you move the fulcrum over, you can increase your leverage through stewardship delegation. Stewardship delegation involves clear, upfront mutual understanding and commitment regarding expectations in 5 areas. Desired results: create a clear mutual understanding of what needs to be accomplished, focusing on what, not how, results, not methods. Spend time, be patient, visualize the desired result, have the person see it, describe it, make up the quality statement of what the result will look like, and by when they will be accomplished. Guidelines. Identify the parameters within the individual in which the individual should operate. They should be as few as possible to avoid method delegation, but should include any formidable restrictions. You won't want a person to think he had considerable latitude as long as he accomplished the objectives, only to violate some long-standing traditional practice or value. That kills initiative and sends people back to the Gopher's creed. Just tell me what you want me to do and I'll do it. If you know the failure paths of the job, identify them. Be honest and open. Tell a person where the quicksand is and where the wild animals are. You don't want to have to reinvent the wheel every day. Let people learn from your mistakes or the mistakes of others. Point out potential paths, what not to do, but don't tell them what to do. Keep the responsibility for the results to them, to do whatever is necessary within the guidelines. Resources. Identify the human, financial, technical, and organizational resources the person can draw on to accomplish the desired result. Accountability. Set up the standards of performance that will be used in evaluating the results and the specific times when the reporting and evaluation will take place. Consequences. Specify what will happen, both good and bad, as a result of the evaluation. This can include such things as financial rewards, psychic rewards, different job assignments, and natural consequences tied into the overall mission of an organization. Some years ago, I had an interesting experience in delegation with one of my sons. We were having a family meeting, and we had our mission statement up on the wall to make sure our plans were in harmony with our values. Everybody was there. I set up a big blackboard, and we wrote down our goals, the key things we wanted to do, and the jobs that flowed out of those goals. Then I asked for volunteers to do a job. Who wants to pay the mortgage? I asked. I noticed I was the only one with my hand up. Who wants to pay for the insurance, the food, the cars? I seemed to have a real monopoly on the opportunities. Who wants to feed the new baby? There was more interest here, and my wife was the only one with the right qualifications for the job. As we went down the list, job by job, it was soon evident that Mom and Dad had more than 60-hour work weeks. With that paradigm in mind, some of the other jobs took on a more proper perspective. My 7-year-old son, Stephen, volunteered to take care of the yard. Before I actually gave him the job, I began a thorough training process. I wanted him to have a clear picture in his mind of what a well-cared-for yard was like, so I took him next door to our neighbors. Look, son, I said, see how our neighbor's yard is green and clean? That's what we're after, green and clean. Now come look at our yard. See the mixed colors? That's not it. That's not green. Green and clean is what we want. Now, how you get it up, green is up to you. You're free to do it any way you want, except paint it. But I'll tell you how I do it if it were up to me. How would you do it, Dad? I turn on the sprinklers. But you may want to use buckets or a hose. It makes no difference to me. All we care about is the color is green, okay? Okay. Now let's talk about clean. Clean means no messes around, no paper, strings, bones, sticks, or anything that messes up the place. I'll tell you what to do. I'll tell you what let's do. What? Tell you what let's do. I don't feel like that's proper English. You ever did the editing on this novel? I'll tell you what let's do. Let's just clean up half the yard right now and look at the difference. So we got out the 2 paper sacks and picked up one side of the yard. Now look at that side. Look at the other side. See the difference? That's clean. Wait, he called. I see some paper behind that bush. Oh, good. I didn't notice the newspaper back there. You have good eyes, son. Now, before you can decide whether or not you're going to take the job, just let me tell you a few more things. Because when you take the job, I don't do it anymore. It's your job. It's called stewardship. Stewardship means a job with trust. I trust you to do the job, to get it done. Now, who's going to be your who's going to be your boss? You, Dad? No, not me. You're the boss. You boss yourself. How do you like Mom and Dad nagging you all the time? I don't. We don't like doing it either. It sometimes causes a bad feeling, doesn't it? So you're the boss now. Or so you boss yourself. Now guess who your helper is. Who? I am, I said. You boss me. I do. That's right. But my time is to help is limited. Sometimes I'm away, but when I'm here, you tell me what I can do to help. I'll do anything you want me to do. Okay. Now guess who judges you? Who? You judge yourself. I do. That's right. Twice a week, the 2 of us will walk around the yard, and you can show me how it's coming. How are you going to be the judge? Green and clean. Right. I trained him with those 2 words for 2 weeks before I felt he was ready to take the job. Finally, the bid day came. Is it a deal, son? It's a deal. What's the job? Green and clean. What's green? He looked at our yard, which was beginning to look better. Then he pointed next to the yard next door. That's the color of his yard. What's clean? No messes. Who's the boss? I am. Who's your helper? You are, when you have the time. Who's the judge? I am. We'll walk around 2 times a week and I can show you how it's coming. And what will you look for? Green and clean. And that time I didn't mention an allowance, but I wouldn't hesitate to have attached allowance to such a stewardship. 2 weeks and 2 words. I thought he was ready. It was Saturday and he did nothing. Sunday, nothing. Monday, nothing. As I pulled out of the driveway on my way to work on Tuesday, I looked at the yellow, cluttered yard and the hot July sun on its way up. Surely he'll do it today, I thought. I had to rationalize Saturday because it was the day that we made the agreement. I had to rationalize Sunday. Sunday was for other things. I couldn't rationalize Monday, and now it's Tuesday. Certainly he would do it today. It was summertime. What else would he have to do? All day I could hardly wait to return home and see what happened. As I rounded the corner, I was met with the same picture I left in the morning, and there was my son at the park across the street playing. This was not acceptable. I was upset and disillusioned by his performance after 2 weeks of training and all those commitments. We had put in a lot of effort, pride, and money invested into the yard, and I could see it going down the drain. Besides, my neighbor's yard was manicured and beautiful, and the situation was beginning to get embarrassing. I was ready to go back to the Gopher delegation. Son, you get over here and pick up this garbage right now or else. I knew I could get the golden egg that way. But what about the goose? What happened to his internal commitment? So I faked a smile and yelled across the yard, "Hi son, how's it going?" "Fine," he returned. "How's the yard coming?" I knew the minute I said it, I had broken our agreement. That's not the way we set up our accounting. That's not what we had agreed upon. So he felt justified in breaking it too. "Fine, Dad." I bit my tongue and waited until after dinner. Then I said, "Son, let's do as we agreed. Let's walk around the yard together, and you can show me how it's going in your stewardship." As we started out the door, his chin began to quiver. Tears welled up in his eyes, and by the time we got out to the middle of the yard, he was whimpering. "It's so hard, Dad." "What's so hard?" I thought to myself. "You haven't done a single thing." But I knew it was hard. Self-management, self-supervision. So I said, "Is there anything I can do to help?" "Would you, Dad?" he sniffed. What was our agreement? You said you would help me if you had time." "I have time." So he ran into the house and came back with 2 sacks. He handed me one. "Will you pick that stuff up?" He pointed to the garbage from Saturday night's barbecue. "It makes me sick." So I did. I did exactly what he asked me to do, and that was when he signed the agreement in his heart. It became his yard, his stewardship. He only asked for help 2 or 3 more times that entire summer. He took care of the yard. He kept it greener and cleaner than it had ever been under my stewardship. He even reprimanded his brothers and sisters if they let too much gum wrappers on the lawn. Or so much as a gum wrapper on the lawn. Trust is the highest form of human motivation. It brings out the very best in people. But it takes time and patience, and it doesn't preclude the necessity to train and develop people so that their competency can rise to the level of that trust. I am convinced that the stewardship delegation is done correctly. Both parties will benefit, and ultimately much more work will get done in much less time. I believe that the family that is well organized, whose time has been spent efficiently delegating on a one-on-one basis, can organize the work so that everyone can do effectively in about an hour a day. But that takes internal capacity to want to manage, not just produce. The focus is on effectiveness, not efficiency. Certainly you can pick up that room better than a child, but the key is that you want to empower the child to do it. It takes time. You have to get involved in the training and development. It takes time, but how you value that time is downstream. It saves you so much time in the long run. This approach involves an entirely new paradigm for delegation. In effect, it changes the nature of the relationship. The steward becomes his own boss, governed by consciousness that contains the commitment to agreed upon desired results. It also releases his creative energies toward doing whatever is necessary in harmony with correct principles to achieve those desired results. The principles involved in stewardship delegation are correct and applicable to any kind of person or situation. With immature people, you specify fewer desired results or in more guidelines, identify more resources, conduct more frequent accountability interviews, and apply more immediate consequences. With more mature people, you have more challenging desired results, fewer guidelines, less frequent accountability, and less measurable but more discernible criteria. Effective delegation is perhaps the best indicator of effective management, simply because it is so basic to both personal and organizational growth. key to effective management of self or of others through delegation is not in any technique or tool an intrinsic factor. It is intrinsic to the quadrant 2 paradigm that empowers you to see through the lens of importance rather than urgency. I have included in the appendix an exercise called a quadrant 2 day at the office, which will enable you to see in a business setting how powerfully this paradigm can impact your effectiveness. As you work to develop quadrant 2 paradigm, you will increase your ability to organize and execute every week of your life around your deepest priorities, to walk your talk. You will not be dependent on any other person or thing for effective management of your life. Interestingly, every one of the seven habits is quadrant 2. Everyone deals Everyone deals with fundamentally important things that, if done on a regular basis, will make a tremendous positive difference in our lives. And then he has some application suggestions. Identify a quadrant 2 activity you know has been neglected in your life, one that is, if done well, would have a significant impact on your life, even if either personally or professionally. Write it down and commit to implement it. Draw a time management matrix and try to estimate what percentage of your time you spend in each time quadrant. Then log your time for 3 days in 15-minute intervals. How accurate was your estimate? Are you satisfied with the way you spend your time? What do you need to change? Make a list of responsibilities you could delegate to the people you could delegate to train the responsible in those to be responsible in those areas. Determine what is needed to start the process of delegation or training. Organize your next week. Start by writing down your roles and goals for the next week, then transfer the goals to specific action plan. At the end of the week, evaluate how well your plan translates to your deep values and purposes in your daily life and degree of integrity you were able to maintain to those values and purposes. Commit yourself to starting organizing. Oh my god. Commit yourself to start organizing on a weekly basis instead of a regular time to do it. Either convert your current planning tool in fourth generational tool or secure. What? Either convert your current planning tool into a fourth generational tool or secure such a tool. And then go through the things in the evidence. This last part. You probably pause there to start some new section. And then part 3. Just public victories. I'll be doing habits 4, 5, and 6, I believe. Yeah, it's like that. Not buy it. Alright, so that gets reading off my list. Oh, wow, perfect. I mean, I really just like to read. Thank you so much. It's amazing.
Need help making room? What do you think?
Thank you. I'm gonna pause for now. I'm gonna go enjoy this with my family for a little bit, and then I'll be back to play games in a little while. So I'll see you guys in a little while.
I like.
But I will be back. Give me what time we want to game? 8:30?
Yeah, I told Justin from 8 to 11. So
Okay.
whenever we're done eating
Sounds
and
great.
getting her settled.
Okay, yeah. So I'll be back in about an hour. Until then, peace.